What is going on? What is going on, Atlanta Falcon fans, man? Come on in. Come on in, man. Let's get on there, man. Let's have this conversation, man, because it's got to be had. Come on in, come on in, man. I'm gonna give y'all a couple minutes to come on in, talk to me. If you're on Twitter, man, thank you for tuning in. Truly appreciate it. Shout out to my boy A1 out there working in the field, man. Shout out to him. Shout out to my boy Let's Get It. He's supposed to join me soon. But y'all come on in, man. Let's talk. Let's talk. I got 6 people in here, man. So come on in. Keep coming on in, man. Let's have some fun. Drop them comments, man. Drop them comments. Larry, what's up, my guy? So our wide receiver looking sluggish and not running routes good and not right routes, I think is his fault. I agree with that to a certain extent, but we're going to get into that, man. We're going to get into that. Waylo the King, what's up, my guy? Xavier. Beard, receiver not getting open. Ghost Pepper, what's up, my guy? Been a minute. What's good? E-Walk. I'm finna get into that in a second. Jeff, what's up, my guy? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm finna get into that, man. Greg Mathis, he's not going to fire Zach. That's his buddy. Absolutely correct. Georgia, Texas, boy, what's good? New era is here. The Falcons will. Falcons. What's that they say? New era is here. The Atlanta Falcons will rise up in 2025 and beyond. We'll see soon. Berto, what's up, my guy? We'll get into that in a minute, man. Player stats, what's good? Krishan Worcester, what's good? Fired the wrong person. Zach Collins is predictable. Absolutely. Dre Murphy, what's up, my guy? Quay Glass, what's up, man? Hey, man, be safe out there, man. I might say something stupid, so turn the radio down. I don't want you to have no accident, man. You know I get stupid quick. But yeah, appreciate you tuning in from riding in the car, man. If y'all on Twitter or Facebook, if y'all on Twitter looking at this, man, please retweet it. We got to have a conversation. Got to have a conversation. Sudden cleanest solution. So I felt they made a good decision. I saw receivers cutting off their routes and dropping passes against the Panthers. It's so easy to pass the blame, man. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Easy to pass the blame. Ray, what's up, my guy? Reggie 2K. No knee-jerk reactions. It was one bad game, but the receivers have to get over it. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. But let's get into it, man. I'm going to be honest with y'all, man, and y'all know I keep it real around here, man, because one thing about me, I done seen the worst of the worst, like I told y'all. But if I'm looking at Sunday's game, Zach Robinson, man, he just seems dysfunctional at this point. And I know this is his first time being an offensive coordinator. You're going to struggle that first time around. But Kyle Shanahan, as I told y'all, I'm going to stick to what I said. Kyle Shanahan, Matt Ryan got in that film room. And yes, Matt Ryan is a veteran when Kyle Shanahan got here, but at the same time, it's all about communication. And I don't think he's been communicating right with Michael Penix. And the reason why I was right about him having to be on the field was Raheem Morris said it yesterday, the communication has been off. And he talked about the headsets, man. Damn them headsets. Headsets go out all the time in the NFL. We saw it a lot of time with New England Patriots. They try to make a controversy out of that. But George Texas, boy, I think it was Kyle Shanahan's second year. Oh, and Matt Ryan won MVP. It was second or third. But he had just come over from Washington, I think, if I'm not mistaken, because Mike Smith, offensive coordinator, was, I want to say Greg Knapp, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, okay. But yeah, but that I agree with that. That's true. But my point in saying that is his second year with Matt Ryan. You got to learn to adjust on the go. And think about being a coach, you have to be able to adjust. And the Falcons offense, when it comes to adjustments, it's just not there. And when the adjustments is not there, How can you expect the team to stay in the game if adjustments is not there? Um, as we look at Michael Penix keep growing in his third game, I think his sixth game overall. As I told y'all yesterday, man, he got film on him, so it's not gonna change. The more he plays, the more film they're gonna have, and they're gonna know how to attack them. You have to be able to develop quarterbacks, and part of development is communication as well. So now that Raheem has said, um, okay, that's right. It was Mike Malarkey and Dirt Cutter, absolutely and Dirt Cutter. Boy, that was utter high school trash. Uh, but what was I saying? Yeah, communication that comes part of development, and when you can't communicate with your quarterback, how can you help him develop? And I said this, and I've been saying this for God knows how long. At some point, as an Atlanta Falcon coach, no matter who it is, you're gonna have to get a staff that has veterans that knows how to coach. And the reason why I say that, a first year coordinator and a first year quarterback, how is he gonna help him develop, as a quarterback when it's his first time, taking a head coaching job? And it's not gonna change my thoughts because it is what it is. And we talked about Kyle Shanahan as somebody in chat said, it's his third team, so he was a little bit more seasoned, and that actually makes sense because if you're a little bit more seasoned, you get a veteran quarterback, y'all find a way to get on the same page. So this is why I feel like Raheem made a lot of mistakes hiring his friends. And you talk about Jimmy Lake got fired after 1 year, and we talked about yesterday that they don't think Zach Robinson will get fired after 1 year. I'm sorry, after 2 years. But that could be a lie as well because he might not have to get fired because he's probably going to take a head coaching job at college if he can get one. So if he can get a head coaching job, he might be gone anyway. And the route that they must take is go get a veteran guy that knows how to um, call plays. He's comfortable with it. He's comfortable with his system. And if they don't do that, there's going to be another problem that we have to deal with. But if y'all been under the rock, man, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Give me 1 second. Raheem Morris told reporters that offense coordinator Zach Robinson now moved on down to the from the coaching box to the field. And like I told y'all, the reason why I said it was I feel like communication is key with, young quarterbacks and really any quarterback. Because you can see it in New York, and somebody just put in the chat as well that Jackson Dart is going to be the new Giants quarterback. And that could have been the Falcons last year, putting Penix in early, but that's another story for another day. But him moving down to the field is super, super important. And I pray this helps him because this Washington game, and I'm going to just tell y'all because I keep it real around here. Miss Tiff, what's good? Thank you for tuning in. Truly appreciate it. I keep it real around here, man. If we lose that Washington game, I think all playoffs hopes are pretty much done because if you go 1-3 going to the bye week, you have to go at least 11-4 the rest of the way. I think 10-4. You have to go 10-4 the rest of the way, and we still haven't played no one in the AFC East or the NFC West, the two divisions that we're playing this year, and we still have Buffalo after the bye week. So if this game is lost by the Falcons, this move with Ike Hilliard could be the first of many. And I had a conversation with my homeboy earlier today, and I'm gonna tell y'all, I don't think Raheem Morris is safe. Even though Arthur Blank don't fire people, he's 83 years old, and he is not getting any younger. And Raheem Morris, he was the interim coach, 4-7 as that, and he didn't show me nothing special that he deserved to be a head coach. And even though Arthur Blank said he's moved on, he's learned things, and he's grown as a coach, Show me where he's grown, and I will, refute that because I just don't think that he's confident in what he's doing. Let's put it like that. To put it nicely, he's not confident in what he's doing. Jeff said this is not a good team, not good enough right now to win on any game. I wouldn't say that. I would put it as they got to get into a rhythm, as I've been saying. If this team gets into a rhythm, because you got to remember, Jeff, even though we lost the game 30-0, the defense still only gave up 224 yards. Bryce Young only threw for 121 yards. I think it was 2 or 3 of those touchdowns was on short fields. And by the third quarter, they were getting beat up so much halfway through the third, the defense was tired, but they were still going out there making stops, making plays. So when you make it the field short for the opposing team, you might get knocked in the mouth like that. I think if you don't make the field short those 2 or 3 times, we might still lose the game, but it's only like 17-0. So I feel like we still have a good team. I just feel like somebody got to put their foot down, and that's Raheem Morris on Zach Robinson's neck and treat the situation just like yeah, Jeff, we do have to score points to win, but at the same time, if the offense is out of sync, the offensive coordinator is bullshitting, we can't win. So as I look at it, receivers running bad routes, Michael Penix missing throws, and like I told y'all yesterday, he gonna get that work too because Michael Penix had a very bad game. It was not all on Zach Robinson; it was on the both of them not preparing properly for this game. That falls on Raheem Morris as well, and this is why I said this may be the first move of many going forward because as the season goes on and he feels the pressure of possibly losing his job, I think Raheem Morris might make more moves, but at the same time, at the end of the day, it's all going to fall on his neck. And I'm telling you, that move with Ike Hilliard, that was to me, and I put it in the thumbnail. I still think he was a scapegoat because even though the wide receiver was running bad routes, the offensive coordinator was the one scheming. So if he the one scheming and they're running bad routes, that's not a good mix. So how can you just let that fall on the wide receiver coach? And don't get me wrong, TJ Yates was the wide receiver coach in 2022 and 2023, but at the same time, I could play wide receiver. So I feel like he was a better coach, a better fit for coaching receivers. And how can you blame him when last year Drake Leonard had a career year? But he's the wide receiver coach last year when Donnell Mooney almost had 1,000 yards as well. He's the wide receiver coach. Even he coached Kyle Pitts, I'm sure, as to trying to make him better. So how does all that fall on him when what he did last year? And even though it hasn't translated so far this year, to me, that's still a Zach Robinson problem. So at the end of the day, they just pointing fingers and hey, we're gonna cut this guy, we're gonna make an example out of him, but you still had the biggest problem on the team. Now, what if he gets down on the field and nothing changes? Poor preparation, poor film room sessions, poor mechanics. And like I said, can Zach Robinson, and I want y'all to answer in the chat, can Zach Robinson develop Michael Penix properly like he's supposed to? I want to know y'all thoughts on that. Alberto says, Smitty, do you think the team quit on Zach Robinson and Raheem last Sunday? No, they were just tired, man. Tired, frustrated, whatever you want to call it. It was both. Tired, frustrated, whatever you want to name it, it was both. Gibson Cusack, Diversified LLC said, moving down is not going to solve the problem. The fundamental ideology is flawed, absolutely. I expect more from the coaching staff, power run, and that's the thing, man. Some things just common sense. Think about the first game of the year. Even though we still had a chance to win that game, we only had 48 yards with the 2 running backs that we have. And then the following week we have 200 yards with the running backs. And even last week we still had I think 100 and some yards rushing. So you got to stick with what works. And if you don't do that, you asking for problems because I'm looking at it right now. We had exactly 131 yards rushing this week. So that's still not bad. And the crazy thing about it, Nathan Carter had 46, and that was really in garbage time. But I feel like with that 4-4 speed and him being the running back 3, they had to find a way to get him involved as well. Whether it's a screen pass or whatever you want to do. But I feel like you just got to get back to the running game and stick to your bread and butter. And I've been saying that for God knows how long. Because as we know, and as you got to make the game easier for Michael Penix. And the only way you can do that is run the football and pound the football until you pound them into submission. And as I said last week, you have to get Kyle Pitts acclimated in this offense, run plays designed especially for him, because the middle of the field was wide open a lot Sunday, but they were too busy throwing outs and stopping goals and quick slants. They were just just dysfunctional, and it showed. And they can't do that against a Washington team that could beat them to sleep by halftime, even with Marcus Mariota at quarterback. And the reason why I say that, the rookie running back that they have, he's after Austin Eckler got hurt. He put on the show last week. So he's another young running back that could be a problem. He can also catch the ball at the backfield, and he's one of those guys that can break a long play. So going into Sunday's game, you have to run the ball to control the clock to keep that offense off the field. If you don't do that, that game is gonna get out of hand real quick. Derek, what's good, my guy? But yeah, you got to, man. Alberto said, so what's the difference from this year and last year? Better offense on paper. What's different? You got a younger quarterback. Kirk Cousins is a seasoned veteran, and I'm telling you, Kirk Cousins was helping Zach Robinson a whole lot last year. Reading what he saw on the field, and with Michael Penix, he has that to a certain extent, but not as a veteran quarterback. As I told y'all last year, Kirk Cousins was going to be Zach Robinson eyes and ears on the field, because he was transitioning to being a first-year coordinator, and that was going to be key to have that veteran quarterback. And this year is like he has a rookie quarterback because Michael Penix only played in 3 games last year. So that is the difference from last year and this year, in my opinion. We're not in panic mode, but I would say we're in win now mode. And I think this game is going to be very key for the Falcons. My boy Ghost Pepper say it's weird because the offense was more open up for Penix those handful of games last year when he played, but yet the play calls are way more restricted and predictable so far this season. And like I said, man, that goes back to Zach Robinson having more confidence in a veteran quarterback in Kirk Cousins last year than the young guy this year, because he feel like he's not ready. But the only way he can get ready is you have to get in the film room. And I keep stressing that, get in the playbook, and you see what he is comfortable with. And we see that he can't put air up under the ball. So do not call those type plays where he got to put touch on the ball, because guess what? He's going to, just like Sunday, he's going to float it. He's going to overthrow it, underthrow it, anything that you can name. So until they get on the same page as a whole, we're going to still continue to see these mistakes. And we're going to see him anyway because he's essentially a rookie. So we'll see. Yeah, we playing musical chairs to a certain extent. But the guy at the top, he's feeling more pressure than anybody. And I'm sure he's talked to Arthur Blank already. I mean, I'm telling you, Arthur 83 years old. He can't keep, seeing this. H.O., what's good, my guy? I will see you tomorrow on the round table. He said moving down on the field will put more pressure to do what he hasn't done yet, to call plays based on the talent he has. Get rid of the pistol, looking more like a water gun at this point. Absolutely. And Michael Penix said himself, he can play in any system. He can play in the pistol, he can play shotgun, he can play under center. So why are you scared to put him on the center? Get back to running the football, and I'm gonna tell y'all, man. Use one of those tight ends as a fullback. Let Bijan and Tyler run wild. If they pound the defense to sleep, and I said this earlier, I think they will have much more success. Why? One is because Washington don't have the defensive line like they had the last 2-3 years. They got rid of Jonathan Allen and Chase Young. Even though they brought in more talent, I still don't think that defense is as strong up front as it had been in the past. So get back to running the football and wear this defense down. And then if you want to run the pistol, you want to run the play action, I think you'll have more success. If you want to use Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and those receivers, you'll have more success. Because if you're running the football, it's going to push them off the line, and it's going to make passing just a little bit easier. But for some reason, I don't think Zach Robinson took football one-on-one. I think he's a little bit blinded and a little bit egotistical at the same time, because sometimes your ego get in the way. Jesse and Terry, wide receiver for the Commanders, may not play, dealing with a quad injury. I could see that, man. I can see that. Yeah, he's been a little banged up since he signed that big contract, but you had to pay him. C Dub, what's up, man? He said Ike is a scapegoat. The coaching staff will hurt the development of Pennis, absolutely, to a certain extent, and that falls on Zach Robinson, not Ike Hilliard. Dre said, do you think it will make a difference from Zach Robinson being on the field than up in the booth? It better make a difference, because if it don't, and they have the same problem they've been having with communication, that's a head coaching problem. Because at the end of the day, if you see something not going right, you talk to that offensive coordinator, make sure he get it right. And the crazy thing about it is, I told y'all last year when he got hired, this team should have been straight on every side of the football, because Raheem Morris has coached offense, he's coached defense, he's coached offensive positions, defensive positions, from wide receiver to defensive backs. It shouldn't have been a problem. So this is why I'm so scrambled at the brain as to why it's not working, because he's coached damn near every position on the field has Raheem Morris. So I mean, come on now. Some things you gotta do better. You gotta do better. And as I'm looking at Carolina's numbers, man, and I'm looking at on team rankings, the Falcons still put up a good game, and Falcons are still second in total yards a game at 227, behind the Cleveland Browns at 204. So they're number 2 ranked in yards in the entire NFL. So you mean to tell me if you can't run the football, wear the clock down, wear the defense down, and keep your defense fresh, you can't win? They had 6 sacks against the Vikings. Should have had about 2 to 3 more against the Panthers. Should have had about 2 or 3 against the Bucks. The Falcons had the talent. It's just the coaching. If the coaching don't get right, we're just going to keep going through the same thing over and over. And again, until the Falcons get uncomfortable with their coach, hire somebody they're uncomfortable with, I feel like we're going to go through the same thing over and over. Stop hiring what's already here or what's been here. Go out and find somebody different that has a different philosophy, a different mindset. That's what you got to do to win football games in the NFL. What did New England do? They went out and who was their coach last year? It was a former linebacker. I think it was what was New England's coach last year? But he got fired after 1 year. But he was a former New England Patriot. I think it was Gerard Mayo, if I'm not mistaken. What do? They go out, go back. Now they go back and turn the wheel. They go back and get Mike Vrabel. But the difference with Mike Vrabel than Gerard Mayo is Mike Vrabel has had success in the NFL. Raheem Morris had success in the NFL. He failed at Tampa Bay. Came here as the interim coach after I think it was Dan Quinn got fired, 4-7. He didn't show you that he could lead a team and he could be a head coach to make a difference. He hadn't showed us that. Let's be real. Quick last, I know it's water up under the bridge, but imagine if the starter got some snaps in preseason, they would have most of the kinks worked out, and that's true to a certain extent, because we tell y'all reps is everything and not the rust off. That first game, the first half, you saw the rust. Even though they moved the ball on that first drive, after that, it looked like a preseason game the rest of the way. Even though we still almost won the game, they just didn't look up to par like they should have at that point. I don't care if you play one series each game, get them some reps to get game speed going. But, hey, it is what it is. Clay, what's up, my guy? He said, that's why I say is Zach. He's not perfect. He still has to learn, absolutely. But please, we're there in Sunday's game. There were actually some there in the Minnesota game. Yeah, that's true. That's true. There were some plays that they should have hit. C Dub said the leadership is nothing but frauds. The Atlanta Falcons culture is we show up one game and you really didn't show up, and you lose the next week by 30 to nothing to a quarterback that's 3-1 versus you. Yeah. And I told y'all in last week's three keys to victory, you got to contain Bryce Young. Bryce Young had but 121 yards, but he made plays when he needed to. He knew they were going to come in and blitz him and try to treat him like JJ last week. What do they do? Three-step drops, quick out. Three-step drop, get it out of there. So, I mean, they prepared. It's just simple. It's just football 101. And for some reason, Atlanta coaches struggle with that. Arm TJs was good. So I'm going to start spinning rumors. Atlanta going after Henry Ruggs after parole. 40 times 427. I don't even know if Henry going to play again. Even though I've heard the team had interest in him, I think the owners and I think the owners going to push back against him playing again. Because some things like that, man, I'm surprised he got a chance to come home, man, because that was utterly devastating. Ron said, are you saying we should accept Penix as a quarterback that doesn't have touch? A really good quarterback should be able to throw every type of throw. And Ron, no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying we should have to accept it. I'm saying the Falcons coaching should be helping him develop on how to put touch on the football. Go out in the offseason, man. Go find a damn passing coach to work with him. I mean, he makes enough money. He can pay for that. You just gave him a 30-something million contract. If he wants to be a great quarterback, he's got to work on the simple things. And sometimes as a team, as an organization, you got to help the quarterback any way you can. And I wouldn't accept him not being able to do that. You got to go out and help him develop and put everything together to be a great quarterback. And that's one of the things you should do. And Tom Brady, one of the greatest quarterback, if not the greatest quarterback of all time, he worked with a quarterback coach every offseason, still out to winning Super Bowls because he only wanted to get better as he got older because he knew the game was going to, speed up and he was going to slow down. So he used a way to utilize his talents the best he could. And I think they had to do the same thing with Michael Penix. They use it the same way. Quick outs, post routes. That's what he's good at. Pistol offense. And they told us that they were going to use the pistol because that's what he's comfortable with. But if he's telling you that he's comfortable in any kind of system or any kind of scheme, such as playing on the center, such as shotgun, you got to trust him, man. So dial up more plays, dial up, more scheming, get better scheming, and try to work with him on making the right reads, making the right throws because his reads were off. His progressions were terrible against Carolina. He looked like a rookie playing in his first game ever against Carolina because it wasn't going through progression properly. You saw the interception he threw. I mean, you got to know if the cornerback is 4 or 5 yards off the receiver, he's going to be reading your eyes. And soon as he seen you stare down that running back, he broke on the football. He picked it off and returned it for 6. It's just simple things like that the quarterback coach, the offensive coordinator should be working on him with to teach him how to read the field. And I'm sure they hammered that home when they got back on yesterday in practice. But hey, it is what it is. Jeff, we absolutely have to score points. That's the whole problem. Absolutely. Absolutely. And to score points, you got to move the football. Yeah, Breeze is Mayo. Absolutely. Gerard Mayo. And I think that was the problem on Screw. He hired too many of his buddies. And sometimes when you do that, It's just like any other. It's just like any other job. Sometimes your buddies can get you fired, man. I've seen it too many times. You fire, you hire, you get them hired. They do a better job than you. You get fired. They still there. Sometimes it just works out like that. Let's get it. What's good, my guy? He said Pence was bad Sunday. Inaccurate throws, staring down receivers, not going through his progressions. He was bad. Absolutely. I just said, man. Dr. Gardner was good. He said his mechanics were really bad. He kept throwing off back foot. Absolutely. One stepping into his throws. Yep. Blake was going to hire Belichick before Robert Kraft got in his ear. No, I think it was Terry Fontenot and Rich McKay got in Arthur Blank's ear. I think that's why that went left. I think that's why that one went left. And Mr. Roy West, he is young, but at the same time, he got to develop. He got to be developed properly by the offensive coordinator and the quarterback coach. So yeah, he definitely got to get better, man. He got to get better. I got faith in him too, man. But yeah, I mean, this Sunday's game by him being on the field, I think it's gonna tell us a lot. Exactly where he's at, exactly where Zach Robinson's at. And y'all got to remember too, man. Zach Robinson is probably looking at a head coaching job after the season, so that could be a bit of a distraction as well. Millie Mills, what's good, my guy? What's good? Craig says he's 3-8 since going 6-3. Raheem record speaks for itself. And Craig, I talked about that yesterday, man. Um, when he was 6-3, that was his ceiling. And I told y'all last year, man, I wish I could pull that show up, but I had to delete it. Um, I said if we lost, I said if we lost that game, that would ruin our season because that's a psychological thing. You playing a team that's beaten down mentally, and you let them get hype up for that game to beat you after losing 7 straight, and then that puts you in a downward spiral. They help that could make you lose control of the locker room, and that could be a lingering effect from last year. And that's true because I actually told my buddy that this morning because some things like that psychologically, um, and the same most of the same players are here from last year. So have they lost trust in Raheem? I don't think fully they have. But it could be lingering in the back of their mind somewhere like, here we go again. And guess what? We played Washington last year. That was one of those bad losses, that game that we probably should have won. So trust goes a long way with coaches. Middle Mill said, stop babysitting Mike. Let the boy play ball. Stop trying to not get him hurt. Let him rock. He's been playing quarterback forever. That's true. But when Millie Mills, when you have an offensive coordinator that's really just as lost as you are, the blind can't lead the blind. Let's just keep it real. And until Zach Robinson progresses himself, that's the only way Michael Penix is going to progress. If Zach Robinson grows, Michael Penix grows. If Zach Robinson cannot grow, and Michael Penix can't develop. But yeah, man. I mean, look, it's just got off of that the damn wide receiver coach had to lose his job, man. I just hate that, man. It just sucked. What the hell happened to the screen? Okay, here we go. But yeah, man. I mean, it's got to get better. But if y'all got any other question, man, go and throw the question down in the chat like y'all always do, man. I answered a couple questions before I get out of here. I just had to say that, man, because I just feel like, man, what I hear you just got a raw deal, man. He got a raw deal. I mean, you just can't put it on the wide receiver coach. I mean, true enough that the offensive, the wide receivers were a little bit off yesterday, but at the same time, the offensive coordinator is the guy you should be handling because I'm telling you, it could have been a little bit better. Yeah, it's gonna be tough to come back if we lose this game, man. It's gonna be another season, man. It's gonna be another season. Jew, what's up, my guy? Yeah, it's gonna be another hard season, man. You got to win this game. And I'm telling you, they have the talent to win it. But psychologically, where are they going into this game? That's gonna be the key. If they in it psychologically, oh yeah, they'll be fine. Nope. Jeff Albrecht is not the problem. Not this time. Oh no. Oh no, he's not the problem. That defense playing out of their mind. They giving up 220 yards a game. That's second in the league behind Cleveland at 204. So it's definitely not the defense. It's the crazy thing, man. Um, Frisco said he love your videos. Shout out to him. Um, and we've been dreaming for a defense like this. And now we can't even move the damn football. So run the football, get back to your bread and butter, and do what you gotta do. Tavares says, should we put Cousin in to motivate Penix? Hell no. That's gonna be another problem in itself, man. Tavares, I wouldn't dare do that. And the reason why, you would kill his drive, man. I think he would be. You see how he was pissed about being pulled out the game Sunday. But as Raheem Morris said, and I told y'all yesterday, it's just a safety precaution. That's every team does that. If you getting blowed out, you have no chance to come back. They put the damn backup in with about 6-7 minutes left in the game. Let him run a couple of plays, and if you put him in, what good is it going to do? You just gonna have another quarterback controversy, another PR nightmare. You don't need that with a young quarterback. Billy Mills said, I don't see Zach on the sidelines with Mike after a bad throw or misread. Then, yeah, it's fully Zach. Absolutely. Christian, what's up? So, no employee performs at their highest levels when they have a green supervisor that provides repetitive, non productive strategies. How do we expect players to do it? That's absolutely true. And that's what I said earlier, man. You can't expect no second year offensive coordinator who really hasn't had to develop a quarterback. You can't expect him to develop a young quarterback. They're one and the same. They're both learning on the fly. And this is why they have to stay in the film room just a little bit longer. Stay at practice a little bit longer. Make different kind of throws to try to get him comfortable with making throws with a little bit more air under the ball. I mean, that just comes with time. But this is why I said Raheem should have hired more veterans. But hey, what can we do? What can we do? Let's see. Hey man, I don't worry about people, man. He can move on. He don't like what I'm talking about. He can keep it moving. It's just that simple. John Brooks, what's good, my guy? We find everyone except the one that is the problem. It could be that. It could be that. Why haven't we attempted any pass over 20 yards in the air? Because he hasn't drawn up any plays to make those tight throws downfield. See, that's the thing. When you can't draw up those and scheme those kind of plays, you can't throw them. And the crazy thing about it, last year in those 3 games, Michael Pittman was slinging the ball all down the field, 20, 30 yards down the field. So, I mean, when you don't have confidence, you can't make those kind of decisions. If you make those decisions, you're not confident, that's a turnover waiting to happen. Hate to see it. Why won't Zach Robinson stick to the running game? I don't understand it. Just what I just said. No confidence. I mean, he can't scheme for it. I mean, it's his own run. Everybody know that. And if you're having problems with it, call somebody that you, as a coach, that knows how to run this offense, and y'all come up with a game plan. Because at the end of the day, you're supposed to know this offense. You're supposed to know it. But if you don't, guess what? It's going to be a problem. So, I mean, Zach Robinson, he just in la la land. Let's just keep it real. He in la la land. So once he get out of la la land, hopefully we'll get better. Man, what is going on with my screen? Yeah, but as I said, man, you just got to get uncomfortable to change things. I feel like they need to go out. If Raheem don't make it, go out and find a coach that you really know nothing about, and somebody that has a tough mentality, like a Belichick. Even with the Raiders, they went out and got Pete Carroll. He's 73 years old, but guess what? He got confidence, and it's somebody that they really don't know nothing about. See, the people that they keep hiring is people like in house. It's just like you at a job, and let's say you at a McDonald's and you working on the fries, and they just all of a sudden promote you to manager because they need a new guy. What you know about being a manager? Let me know. What you know about being a manager? You go out and get somebody that's been a manager before. Go out and get somebody that done showed you that they can do what they need to do in the NFL. Hell, you see what Mike Vrabel did. If I'm Arthur Blank, I would have looked at Mike Vrabel. We know what he did in Tennessee. Yeah, he fell off the last couple of years, but the first couple of years there, he had a whole lot of success. Just got to be uncomfortable sometimes to be successful, and that crushes coals and make diamonds. If that makes sense. That's a good question, Mill. I don't know who next. I feel like shit. To be honest, um, going into the bye week here, Raheem might not even come back, and Jeff Ulbrich might be a damn another intern coach for a second straight year. If y'all want me to be brutally honest about it. Yeah, man. But I had to come in and and talk to y'all, man, because that pissed me off a little bit because how you gonna how you gonna just fire somebody that really didn't have nothing to do with nothing? I mean that to me that was a cop out. And Raheem should have been ashamed of himself when his friend was the one that he's the problem. And we know that. John, I agree 100%. You just definitely deserve better. Zach think Bijan gonna save him. You gotta have balance. The offense is out. It's over for us. And I'm not gonna say it's over because we have a chance to win, but this is a must-win game. I know we talk about that a lot, but this is actually a must-win game because we going 1-3. The percentage to make the playoff is 1%. And guess what? Numbers never lie. The last team I think to go um under 10 wins to win a playoff game was the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, was the New York Giants when they won the Super Bowl against the Patriots, I think in 2011 or 2007, one of those Super Bowls. They were 9-7. That's the last time. So that don't happen often. And even though we have an extra game, guess what? We already down in division 0-2. And that's a bad look. Still with the AFC West, I'm sorry, the NFC West and the AFC East still have to play them. And guess what? Buffalo right after Washington. So it's only going to get tougher, man. To be honest with y'all, it's only going to get tougher. Absolutely, too much time to score no points. Absolutely. Dre, what's good, man? He said Bill Belichick would not have given out pink slips to coaches and players. Motivation not working will get your mind to compete. Absolutely. Another thing, Dre. I said this about Belichick as well. Um, One thing about Bill Belichick, he's going to always have a plan in place. Um, if he comes in, he's going to put coaches behind him that he know can handle the rigors of the NFL. Somebody that if something happens to him, if he gets fired, it's going to be somebody right behind him to take over and ready to step up and do the same job. And that's what I liked about Belichick. He always had a backup plan. Always. Yeah, the Rams were 1-4, but guess what? They had Matthew Stafford. They had Sean McVay, and they found a way to turn it around. Hey, Jr. I've been a fan since 1989, 36 years. I done seen worse than this. This is child play compared to what I've seen. And the older gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, if they watching, they know exactly what I'm talking about. In the 80s, we averaged what 3 to 4 wins a year. In the 90s, we got better, but we still had 5-11 seasons, 4-12. So I mean, I've seen worse than this. And the thing about it, this is why I know it can get better um if you just go in a different direction. Because when the Falcons turned it around in the late 90s, they went out and got Dan Reeves, a coach that they know had pedigree, somebody had to drive to win. Those are the kind of coaches that you got to go after sometime. And as I told my buddy earlier, I think they should have kept Ryan Nielsen. I don't know what the hell Raheem Morris was thinking. And there's no shot at Jerry Gray. There's no shot at Nate Ollie. There's no shot at Jeff Ulbrich. But Ryan Nielsen turned his pass rush around single handedly. 42 sacks after the previous, 2 to 3 years we had about that many in 3 years. Just think about that. That's the kind of drive that you need as a coach. If you don't have that kind of drive, guess what? It's going to be the same problem over and over. Man, Ulbrich, and Nate Ollie have done a hell of a job bringing energy to this defense. But why not go out and hire, again, somebody you uncomfortable with, and Ryan Nielsen, who's already here, somebody new, a new voice. We don't heard Raheem Morris' voice before. Go out and find somebody different. That's all I'm saying. Yep, since 1989. He back on the international pathway program. So he don't count against the 53 other practice squad. Hey, Tim, I hope we are okay, man. I hope we are, man. But it's gonna be a big game. Big game. Yeah, Ryan Nielsen definitely was a passionate coach. Groovy Tone said, whose fault is it when you get the plays in late, Mr. First Time OC? It's still the OC fault. Cause if he's on the field 9 times out of 10, he won't get that play in late. And if he do get it in late, it's still gonna be his fault. You got to find a way around that. And the veteran that's on this team should be helping him as well. So there's a lot of blame to go around, but at the end of the day, it's the head coach that's gonna get the most of the blame, and he deserves the blame. He put the people around. You got to put stronger people around you, somebody that's gonna challenge you at the end of the day. And I don't think he did that. So guess what? We in the spot that we in. But yeah, man, I had to stop through and talk about Ike Hilliard, man. I didn't agree with that firing, man. The Falcons gotta do better, man. They definitely gotta do better. But tonight, man, y'all jump back on with me and A1, man. We gonna do our Washington Commanders preview show. Former Redskins cornerback Fred Smoot gonna come through with the laughs. Y'all know Fred crazy, man. I've had Fred on many times. Also Kelsey Nicole Nelson, Washington Commanders journalist. She's a freelance reporter. She's always supported me, man. She's worked with Fox Sports. So she will be in the building tonight too. And they've actually had a show together in Washington, so they know each other very well. So it's gonna make for an exciting show. So it's gonna be like a two versus two thing. We gonna bring the questions. All y'all got to do is bring the energy, man. Cause one thing about Fred don't play. He gonna bring the energy and he gonna challenge you. So look, we gonna have fun tonight. 8 o'clock. Y'all be here for the preview show. And while y'all at it right now, go on and match the notification bell. So 30 minutes before the show start, you'll get a notification. And look, we're gonna have some fun tonight. But again, man, I hear this gone. Zach Morris is coming down. Not Zach Morrissey. I've been watching Saved by the Bell. That's how old I am. Zach Robinson will be on the field Sunday. And I got to go find my gift where he get kicked in the butt, because he going to get a kicking if he don't pull it together this week, because this is a key game, man, going into the bye week. We got to be 2-2. Got to be 2-2. But Reggie 2K, Dre Murphy, RB, thank y'all for stopping through, and everybody in the chat. Again, this your boy Antoine Smith. I will see y'all tonight at 8 o'clock. Please make sure y'all be there because we're gonna have a good time. Peace.